From New York Times bestselling author Tess Gerritsen comes a chilling new case, a mysterious boarding school, a relentless killer on a mission. Detective Jane Rizzoli and medical examiner Maura Isles are determined to protect 3 terrified orphans in Last to Die.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that little snippet of what's to come in the final chapter today. We won't actually be acting out this book, but we will be reviewing it. Welcome to the final chapter. I'm Rachel Harvey-Jones, and today we're reviewing The Last to Die by Tess Gerritsen. Joining me on the couch, the famous final chapter couch, is Caitlin Mattingly, one of our reporters at HMTV6. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
It's your first time on the couch.
Yes.
Are you nervous?
You're making me more nervous than I was.
Whereas Chris Copley, lifestyle editor for the Herald Mail, you're an old hat at this now.
Unflappable.
He should host it now.
Don't try me.
He just knows everything about it.
Yes, that may be the next step. We've gone through a real array of books from the start of this show, from 50 Shades of Grey, The Cellist of Sarajevo. Now we find ourselves with probably one of my favorite authors, who's Tess Gerritsen, and I love the characters of Rizzoli and Isles. Now, for both of you, the great thing was this was the first time you'd read any of her books and any of the Rizzoli and Isles books. So where do we start? Chris, what did you think?
Well, I liked it. It was a good story. It was, you know, it kept me going until the end. It's, as a good mystery should, you don't know what's going to happen. I was completely taken by surprise. So, I had a good story. You know, during the course of the story, you find out more about the kids who are in this book, but not in previous books. You find out more about Rizzoli and Ives. Now, for me, you know, I like the kind of the buddy cop dynamic. So that was nice.
It's a great...
Although only one of them is a cop, actually.
Yes, I know, but they're two very powerful women, which is very interesting. It just kind of keeps me hooked. Yeah. And it was your first time reading Tess Gerritsen.
Right.
Is it something now that you'll pick up again?
I think so. I liked what Chris was saying, the mystery. I liked building up, and it kind of kept me on edge, wondering what's going to happen next. And with each new chapter, you learn something new about every character, something that you wouldn't expect. And those are the type of books that I love to read, because it's something that keeps you guessing, keeps you wanting to turn the page and find out what happens next.
Now, you mentioned that you kind of struggled to keep up with the characters because there were quite a few characters. Who do you think, for you, was your, I don't want to say favorite, but the character you were drawn to the most?
I felt like I was drawn to Maura the most. I'm not sure why. It was just, I just felt like I connected with her character, and for me, she was easy to just remember everything that was going on in her life. Because like you were saying, it was hard for me to keep track of what was happening with Rizzoli and Isles, and since I've never watched the series before, that was one of the more difficult things that I had with reading this book.
Did you find that, because I've seen a lot of them, I can't remember where this came sequentially in the series, but did you find that it was difficult to keep up? Did you think, oh, was that in a previous book, or do you think that a reader could pick this book up and absolutely know what was going on?
Yes, yeah, I didn't have any trouble. I treated it for myself. I knew it was part of a long series, but I treated it like a standalone book, and that's how I read it. There were references to things happened before, but I didn't need to know any more than what the author included in the story. So that was good, you know, and some things did carry over. There was a character from before, I'm forgetting his name, but he had helped Maura Isles out in The Dead of Winter to Survive. Right. And he made an appearance again, and all I needed to know about him was in this book. So yeah, it would be fine to read as an introduction to her series.
I think they got stranded in Montana and were being chased by crazy people, and they survived.
And I didn't have a problem, you know, telling the two women apart, the two main characters, mainly because, you know, as you had said, Maura Isles is very much a straight arrow. She's by the book. She has a kind of a clinical, you know, removed perspective. Right. Whereas Rizzoli is much more, you know, she's much more excitable. And, you know, she's not like all over the place, but their voices were different, you know, in the book. And so,
no, absolutely, I agree. Rizzoli is my favorite. I don't know why. I was a bit of a tomboy growing up, and I think I kind of connect with her. I love Tess Gerritsen's writing. She's a very interesting background. She was a graduate of Stanford University, and then she went to medical school in the University of California. So you can see she's got the legal background, she's got the medical background, and I'm a stickler for detail. How did you think the detail was portrayed in this book?
Amazing. Just everything. And with so many characters, I felt like she went into detail, significant detail, behind each of their backgrounds. You know, you had so many different children who came to the school, Evensong, correct? And they all, you know, had different stories, had different backgrounds, but she went into significant detail with each of them. So you were able to connect with each character and kind of understand where they were coming from.
No romance in this one, Chris.
Right, right. Which was, and you know, there were some undertones, very light undertones with Maura Isles when she was at the school. But, you know, as a reader, that kind of makes me want to pick up the next book and see, okay, well, what happens next here? Yeah. But, you know, as a dad, I really enjoyed reading about the kids, you know, the three main kids, and then some of the other ancillary characters at the school, and, you know, following them. I thought that was pretty neat.
Well, indeed, we thought it was pretty neat. Now let's head to Tess Gerritsen, who tells us her thoughts on The Last to Die.
In the 10th book, Last to Die, we are following the lives of three interesting children. They're all orphans. They are all survivors of family massacres that happened in different cities around the world. So Jane and Maura have to figure out what is the thing that links these three very different children. It also brings in a character that I introduced in my book Ice Cold, a 16-year-old boy named Julian Rat Perkins, who saved Maura's life in the mountains of Wyoming. And he is attending a very strange, mysterious boarding school in Maine. That's where these three orphans end up, and when Maura goes to visit, strange things begin to happen. So it's a mixture of not only this gothic sense of what is it like to be in a weird castle in the middle of Maine, but who is pursuing these three children.
Well, thanks for joining us on the first part of this show, reviewing The Last to Die by Tess Gerritsen. We're running out of time, unfortunately, but stay with us, of course, at HMTV6, and we'll follow up with the second half of this show. It is a great book. Next month, we will be reviewing Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. So if you want to read along with the panel here, that makes us sound very efficient, doesn't it? You can do. It's Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Thanks for watching. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
At Hagerstown Kia, the heat is on. That means for a limited time, drive away in a 2012 Kia Optima LX for only $17,990. Or the 2012 Kia Forte EX priced at only $15,990. The heat is on, and Hagerstown Kia is making deals the others won't.